Breaking news, the National Transportation Safety Board is giving an update on its own investigation to that crash in Belle Glade that killed 9 people.
Let's listen in.
Thoughts and prayers are with you in this difficult time. I met with the survivor of the crash this afternoon and offered him our deepest condolences. The NTSB is an independent federal agency charged by Congress with investigating every civil aviation accident in the United States and significant evidence, other modes of transportation, railroad, transit, highway, marine, pipeline, commercial, and space. We issue safety recommendations aimed at preventing future accidents. Here is the factual information we have right now. On Monday evening, around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the vehicle was traveling westbound on Hatton Highway, approaching a left curve on the roadway. The vehicle failed to negotiate the left curve. The vehicle drove off the roadway onto the grass shoulder, impacted the guardrail. The vehicle overturned as it came a final rest in the canal. The car has been recovered and investigators will thoroughly examine it and conduct a forensic examination for electronic data. As a part of our safety investigation, the NTSB will analyze the facts, determine a probable cause of the crash, and issue a final report necessary to satisfy and make recommendations. The investigator in charge is Kenneth Bragg. Mr. Bragg is a senior highway investigator with over 12 years of experience with the NTSB. He's leading a multidisciplinary team of 5 experts who have over 50 years of combined investigative experience. The NTSB team will examine the following areas: vehicle factors, highway design, and human factors. In addition to our investigator, we have a specialist from our Office of Transportation Disaster Assistance on scene. She will work closely with the families and local agencies to provide support to those involved. The NTSB is conducting a parallel safety investigation in cooperation with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. They will provide technical expertise in the investigation process. Today was our first full day on the scene. Our investigative team will be on the scene for about 5 to 7 days to thoroughly document the crash site and gather factual information. Our mission is to understand not just what happened, but why it happened, and to recommend changes to prevent it from happening again. We will not begin to determine the probable cause of the crash while we're here on the scene, nor will we speculate about what may have caused this crash. Since we are just beginning our investigation, we do not have great details of information to report. However, we will keep you informed by providing updates as long as we get the information on time. If the public has relevant information for the investigation, you can email us at witness@ntsb.gov. We expect to release a preliminary report which will include factual information in about 30 days. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and first responders for their ongoing work. I now will take a few questions. To ask a question, please raise your hand and wait for me to identify you. When identified, please state your name and affiliate. I will take some questions.
I know you said you can't speculate, but the family...
Your name and your affiliate?
My name is Ari Heighton with WPDF TV. I know you said you can't speculate. The family has suggested there was something wrong with the vehicle they were driving, perhaps the steering. I know you can't speculate, but how would you go about investigating to see if their claims are accurate?
The question was, I know you can't speculate what happened during the crash, knowing that this is an investigation, but how would you investigate? That's exactly a good question. Our investigators have over 50 years of experience handling this type of investigation, and they will follow the process. And that's why they're here. They'll be here for 5 to 7 days.
Can you talk about what the process is?
Well, the process would be Right now, they're gathering the facts, and as they gather the facts, they will put a document together to present a preliminary report within 30 days. So they're going to do their investigation, do their research, interview witnesses, et cetera, and then they will issue a preliminary report. Your name?
Cody Weddle with WPLG. Can you talk about why the NTSB became involved in this? What sparked the NTSB leading this investigation instead of the sheriff's office?
Well, the question was, why is the NTSB involved in this investigation and the sheriff's office involved in this investigation? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Why the NTSB and not the
So the
sheriff's office?
NTSB, we investigate crashes, and it's so important that we, and this is an example of important in NTSB, we investigate crashes that we can learn from, that was catastrophic in nature, and the investigators, we have the best investigators in the country. We have the gold standard, and we believe that this crash was catastrophic, a tragic event, and that's why we're here. And we're working with Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. We're in great partnership with them. We're working with them together. Yeah.
Victoria with CBS 12 News. We've spoken with officials here who have had concerns about Hatton Highway and the road conditions and lack of signage. In your preliminary investigation, would you agree that there is a lack of signage for that road and how steep that curve is?
Well, we just started the investigation today. They're on scene today, and that's what they're going to be able to focus on during the investigation.
Lily Ortiz, also with CBS 12 News. You talked about some of the things that investigators will look into, like the highway design, human factors as well. Can you specifically detail exactly what human factors is? What will investigators look into and focus on?
Well, the human factor will be dealing with the individual in the vehicle, what was going on. And so they'll do a deep dive on that in terms of the human perspective on what was going on.
You guys were out there at the scene earlier today. You did mention about those vehicle factors that you're going to look into. Based off this observation today, do we know if perhaps the vehicle failed, maybe something with the steering wheel?
Repeat that question again?
Yeah, you guys were out there at the scene today, and you mentioned that you guys are going to look into vehicle factors. Do we know if there was any observation from today where we think perhaps something happened with the vehicle?
We don't at this time. We're early in an investigation, and there's no, we have no information specifically as to what happened.
Are you able to talk about what vehicle this was, its capacity, and whether it was over capacity in terms of passengers?
The question was, am I able to talk about what type of vehicle it was? Was it over capacity, et cetera? The investigators will be looking to that. That's part of the process in dealing with the vehicles, the design, and that's part of the investigation process. So I can't talk about that.
Last question?
Kim Wynn, NBC6. We had information yesterday, and I just want to see if you can shed any light on this. Do you know if the passengers in the car, if they had on seatbelts or if they weren't wearing seatbelts? Do you know that?
The question was, do I know if the passengers had seatbelts on when they were in the car? And that's going to be a part of the focus of the investigation. The crashworthiness and occupant safety are a part of the investigation, so that's one of the things they will be focusing on. That is a very important part of the process.
Zit Nagasanato, once again with WPTV. I guess my final question would be is what makes this tragic accident so much different from other ones that perhaps you may have worked with?
Well, the tragic thing isn't anything, it's a loss of life. Loss of life. And so it's important for us to be here. Every life is precious.